Okay, so I am planning to make a full Athena cosplay from Epic the Musical, and we of course had to start with the cape, which is what I'm going to do in this video. The best part of this cape is that I thrifted these panel curtains because they were the perfect color, perfect texture. It was perfect. So I thrifted them. I got 4 panels and I only needed 2. So now I have 2 extra if I ever need to make another cape, and I did it all for $10. $10 for this much material is really good. Thrifting my own cloth from random stores is like my new favorite thing. So anyway, after measuring, I kind of just marked out the shape of a wing on here, did a few adjustments, and then I cut it all out. And I did mark out before the kind of where the straps were going to go, and where it was going to go across my back. My biggest concern was the wing shape, because that was going to be the hardest to nail down. Once I had one side cut out, I just laid it across the second panel and marked it as well. And I probably should have done them back to back instead of the way that I did it, just so that they matched up better. But in the end, we made it work, so it's fine. I also wish that I had enough cloth to have done a double hem on this, but that wasn't really working out. So I just did a single hem, and then I didn't film hemming it. But this is me pinning the 2 halves together so that I could sew them up. And this took forever. It was so much cloth, but you know what? It worked. The hardest part to sew up was definitely these straps, just because of the shape, and I also was really trying so hard not to make them too thin, but I do kind of wish I'd given them more cloth. If I were to do it again, I would probably add an inch onto the straps. Yeah, so after I sewed the 2 halves together, flipped it all inside out, definitely need to iron it later, but I didn't do that in this video. I also left a space open on either side of where the straps were going to be. That's how I flipped it all inside out, and that's also how I was going to add the secondary part of the straps, which is the part that you see me marking out now. Basically, I just marked out 2 large rectangles, and then just cut them all out, and then, of course, hemmed them. After they were hemmed, I folded up the edges just like this, just kind of folding them over themselves so that the little folds overlapped. And this was just to kind of create a little wrinkled effect in it that I wanted. I have an inspo pic, and that's kind of what this looked like. So I was basically just copying that. And I did it on both sides, and I used 2 of them, and I did them exactly the same. So basically, they looked like 2 little puffs, kind of. But these are meant to wrap around my shoulder as the strap comes down over my shoulder and connects to them. Once I had them pinned in place with the folds, I just hand sewed it up to make sure that the folds wouldn't come undone when I attached them to the actual, cape. I do wish that I could have made these double-sided, but I think it would have been too thick. So I just took the piece after it was done, put it into the hole that I had left on the side of the cape, then pinned it all up, and then I used a straight seam and just sewed right along the edge. You need to make sure your thread matches your cloth, because otherwise it's going to be a little too apparent. And you basically just sew over the cuff as you sew up the seam. So once I had that all done, I took these button snaps and I sewed one onto each corner of the little shoulder puff thing. And I do wish that I had attached button snaps to the shoulder straps that went over my shoulder first so that it wasn't so difficult, but I did do it in a way that didn't show. Wow, I can't speak. Yeah, I wish I'd done it otherwise so that it was easier not to show the thread, but I did make it work in the end just by sewing really carefully. And then I connected a button strap to the end of that strap there, and then to the middle so that it connected just like that, where it would fit over my shoulder. Then I found these 2 little owl charms, which were perfect, and I sewed them onto the ends of each strap, just like you're seeing there. Now, the picture that I was using as inspo kind of just sat on Athena's shoulders. It's a magic cape, so it doesn't really need to obey the laws of physics, but I'm not magic, unfortunately, so I needed mine to fit properly. So I took this jump ring and I added these 3 little chains, and they were all different lengths so that they would kind of hang in a pretty way. And then I attached them to the top of that owl, and then I did the same on the other side with the second owl so that they would kind of hang across my chest between the shoulder straps, just like you're seeing here. It sat really well on my shoulders like this, and here's the final product. It doesn't fit perfectly, but it you know what? I love it. I'm not gonna lie. And this was really so easy to do. Just grab yourself some curtains and make your own. I did want to add as a note at the end here that eventually I am going to be making like arm braces for her for this cosplay to go with her armor, and I'm going to attach an elastic string to those and then to the corner of the wing so that while I move my arms they kind of fly. Just wanted to include that in this video in case anyone makes this cape and like wants that effect as well. But yeah, I'm making a full cosplay of this, so more videos are going to be coming out about this whole cosplay, and hopefully it turns out epic. No pun intended.